All right, all right. I think everybody should be able to hear me. I gotta tweak this camera a little bit. I can never get this camera in the right spot. I always have the hardest time horizontal when I'm in the car. What up? What up? Let me clear off my lens. Sorry about that. All right, I think I got it straight here. All right, I got a clean. I should have did all that beforehand. So I think I'm straight. Now. All right, tighten that up and head on to my next appointment. What's going on there, apprentice? Yeah, I figured I'd do quick. And we got, what's that? Sky Blue Pro Consultant. What's going on with you? And let me know where y'all coming from. I know Caprinas is in California. Sky Blue, where you coming from? Yeah, I'm good. Okay, you said I'm good. All right, thanks. Yeah, I told y'all, when it comes to the video stuff, I just get really particular, because y'all don't realize, those of you who don't do this, the live streaming and really putting content out, there are people out there who critique everything, and there's some folk that, if you don't have everything just right, man, I hadn't heard about Loan Depot getting hacked. If you don't have everything just right, they won't even look at your video. They'll just turn away and keep going and all that stuff. So I always gotta keep those folk in mind when I'm doing these videos, for those people who just sort of scroll by and everything. So so y'all can hear me, got my mics going good. Yeah, but no, I hadn't heard about Loan Depot. I mean, it said Loan Depot. I'm about to say Home Depot. I will tell you this, probably 3 years ago, I knew this was going to be a problem, because one of the companies out there, First American Home Mortgage, or I think First American Mortgage or something like that, they were getting hacked. And what was happening was that I was getting emails, them and Stewart Title. So First American and Stewart Title were they got hacked to where emails were being sent out to notaries saying that, hey, we have this order for you, click here to download your documents and stuff. And I was like, they ain't never did that before. I ain't clicking on nothing. And then when you mouse over the link, you could see some little funky characters in there, and then whatever was the dot, like com or dot whatever for that thing, I would go search for it. And thanks for hitting the like button, y'all. I would search for it and say, okay, yeah, that's a scam. And, and the internet will tell you, yeah, anything, if you see this URL, that's a scam. And you could actually just copy, just write down the first part of it, or some part of that link, and drop it into Google and put the word, like the phrase, is this a scam, or is this, a scam? And it'll tell you whether or not it is, because more than likely you getting it, it's not the first time that it's been sent out and stuff. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Loan Depot got hacked, because when I would call the people, remember, I got a background in cyber, well, y'all may not know, but background in website development, and I have a grad certificate in cybersecurity policy. So when I saw that, I was reaching out to them, and hey, what's going on there, Erica? I was reaching out to them and saying, hey, this, I got an email from y'all, and they would tell me, oh no, that's fake, we got hacked. Somebody got in our system, we got hacked. And more than likely it's happening because sometimes employees are on sites, don't have to be no nasty sites, it could just be a gaming site or whatever, and sometimes they're just targeting them to watch their emails and stuff, and they sitting there spoofing everything, so they know you're getting assigned something or what have you, and then they you know, and then they'll hit you up and say, hey, we got this closing for you. Can you download these documents? ... Don't do it. You know, don't do it at all. Contact the company. I will call the numbers, and it will be some number, some person somewhere else, and they're like, nah, it's not my number. So they'll actually put fake numbers on there, but everything looked legit and stuff. And again, thanks for hitting the like button, y'all. Hit the like button so everybody will know we out here and stuff. So y'all, I'm sure most of y'all saw the video I put up this morning. I got 5 closing real quick, to the point, at the Starbucks. Explain ain't any other documents because they've already seen everything. The people getting some, you know, good lumps, and so they've already gone over everything. It was just a matter of just sitting there, going through, bam, bam, bam. They signed. I think we was done in about 15 minutes or less, no more than 15 minutes after I did the IDs, or maybe including the IDs, it was 15 minutes, and then I'm on my way to Norfolk now from Newport News, Virginia, which is about a 40-minute drive, and meet this guy about 1:30, get his loan application done. Hopefully they'll have my 3 o'clock docs ready, and matter of fact, I need to send them a note when I get to him that, hey, I need the 3 o'clock documents, so that way when I can go home, print those, and because I already got my 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock, and I got to go home anyway to print my 6:30 closing docs out and all of that. So so hopefully they'll go ahead on and get that stuff together for me and all of that, you know. And that's one of the side things, you know. Some of the companies, they literally sometimes will have the documents, but they don't want to send them out until 2 hours before, so that way if it gets canceled, you can't ask them for a print fee. I ain't worried about all that. Just send me the daggone documents, because, you know, I got something. And I actually would tell them, look, I got a 3 o'clock, you know, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, you know, I need the documents. You know, it ain't about no print fee for me. I ain't worried about that. And sometimes I don't even ask for a print fee. So what I want to hop on real quick and share with y'all, and for those of you looking at the replay, thanks for watching. Again, thanks for hitting the like button when you come in. Last minute signings right now seems to be where it's at. It's been quiet out here. It hasn't been a whole lot of notifications for orders in the future. A lot of stuff has been like right now today, you know, 4 or 5 closings, and they're all same day or maybe the next day. May not be able to stay on. Okay, 757 797 5432. I mean, yeah, 5432. It's also in my about page on my channel. 757 797. Yeah, 757 797 5432. That's my Google Voice number. I always be forgetting that one. But so far this month, okay, I've seen 20 last minute signings. And last minute is anything that's 24 hours or less from the time that I get it. I've seen 20 of those. I've gotten about 15 of them. That's really, it's been too crazy for me to keep up. And I might have seen more, but I just know off the top of my head at least 20. And I've gotten about 15 of those as my, for my orders. I know many of you want to get to sit down and massage the documents, and as always joke about drink your mimosa and your brown drink and all of that, and for the fellas smoke a stogie. But the number one thing that I found to be successful in this business has nothing to do with how much I know about the documents above the signature line. It's all centered on my ability to hop out there and do the closings quick, fast, and in a hurry. That's what I've found out. Where my stuff at? Here we go. That's what I found out. If I can get out here and do this stuff quick, fast, and in a hurry, be there when they need me to. That's why I always got my printer loaded up, all of that. Man, that's where it comes in at. Now, do you always get higher pay? No, not always. You don't always get higher pay, but at least you're going to get paid, you know. And I know a lot of you are nervous and scared. I'm telling you, okay, you're not the only one with anxiety. I would say probably 80% of the notaries out there, men and women, have some kind of anxiety with this business. That's just a fact. If you've had, I put it this way, if you feel that you had some kind of anxiety with this business, now you might have gotten over it by now, hopefully you have, but if you had some kind of anxiety or still have some anxiety about going out, doing the closings and all of that, even if it's just general notary work, put a 1 in the chat, okay? And once I got over my concern, and really my concern was never being face-to-face with anybody, my concern has always been, can I get myself prepared to do the for the closing in time? That's always been my concern. And once I got my logistics together, it's been popping ever since. I mean, it's like, okay, you send me an order, boom. Case in point, there have been a lot of loan applications coming up, okay? A lot of loan applications coming up, and then, you know, and they're like for the same day. But what I noticed was that when I called a customer, every single one of them was like, no, I don't want to do it today. I'll do it tomorrow. And I was like, all right, bet. And I'm sitting here like, oh, okay. So I take an order, and then I called them up and I say, hey, yeah, I'm scheduled to meet with you for your loan applications today at such and such time. Are you still available today? And they'll be like, actually, no. I said, and they'll be like, I told them, no, I'm not available today. It's better for me tomorrow. Now, a lot of times I'm already jammed. I'm like, okay, man, this is crazy. I don't have no time, but they want to do it today. It's paying $85 for a loan application. But I'm hopping on that. Come to find out, it's the loan officers. They're just locked in. So they're getting a notary to just accept the order, and they'll say, hey, the order's coming out ASAP. You know, it's here, and we need it done ASAP. Or they'll say it'll be done for tomorrow ASAP or something. And what it is, they want us to go ahead on and accept the order so we can go ahead on, it can be locked in, so that person can be like, and they can say, okay, we got you locked in to meet with the notary. And every single time that I've told the loan officer, you know, when I reply back to confirm it, I said they want to meet tomorrow, and they said that's fine. Nobody I'm like, oh, okay, so that's the flow. So I noticed that pattern. So if you see a loan application and you see it, and it coming from any company, and the customer keeps saying, oh, I want to do it tomorrow, I'll do it the next day, or what have you, okay, cool. So I just been taking them. Even if, I mean, like today, I was scheduled to do a loan application today. I didn't have no time for it. I didn't know how I was going to squeeze it in, but I said, I'm going to just take it anyway. I took it, and what made it tough, the loan application that I was supposed to have did yesterday got rescheduled for today, and the loan application I was supposed to have done 2 days ago got rescheduled for today, and that's the one I'm getting ready to go do. So I'm sitting here like, okay, I got these 2 loan applications today, I got these 5 signers, and then there's a 3rd loan application for today. I called the person up, and I asked him, I said, are you still available for the 11th? That was, I called him for about today. Said, no problem, I'll see you Friday. They was like, bet. That's how I can flow sometimes. And I hope I don't get cut off. I'm down here in this thing. What's going on, Jeff, out there in California? So my success, and I'm sure others, because it's not exclusive to me. My success has been being able to take those last minute signings, to go out there and get it done. And what I'm finding out is that when people want to meet you at a Starbucks, Panera Bread, you know, someplace other than their home, at their job, you know, they're like, yeah, my wife is going to my job and we'll sit down in the conference room and do the closing. they literally do not want any discussion about the documents. They're like, because they're at work and they're taking a quick break. And if they're asking you, so how long will it take, and I tell them, I said, as fast as it takes you to sign, but if everything is square and your numbers are right, I said, we could probably be done before, in less than 30 minutes or less. They said, all right, good, because, I'm on my break and I don't, and I got to get back to work. So when somebody is telling you stuff like that, that's the indicator to you that I need to just get in there, do my notarizations, and I'm out. There's no need for me to try to explain and point out all the facts and figures on the CD and the altar and stuff, because I know people training them folk to do that. And I'm like, okay, you're going to do what you want to do for a trainer. You're going to be a trainer and you're going to train people how to analyze the 3-month, tax, this, that, and the other. Okay, that's cool. But when we out here in the real world doing these things, that all that stuff you talk about is in the lab. When I get out the lab and I'm sitting here in front of this customer and they're like, I only got 15 minutes and you got 150 pages. Trust me, you can get through 150 pages in 15 minutes. You can. And those people be like, I just need to sign because I've already reviewed everything. I'm good. All right, bet. So scenario, you get a situation like that. And a lot of times, I've been in that a couple of times. I get there and I'm meeting with the customer who is short on time. I go ahead on and get started with them. When their spouse shows up, then I go back and finish the signing with them. And they're like, okay, y'all can stay here in the conference room. I got to go. Or we're at a restaurant. Hey, I'm be there. And I go ahead on and get started with them. And then once they come, they come, boom. Matter of fact, yesterday I had one like that. I meet the gentleman at his restaurant, real nice restaurant. I can forget the name of it. I know where it's at, and I'm going to go back there and get some food because I can tell that dude can cook. I'm there. His wife she forgot her ID. She had to go back home and get it. Me and him went ahead on and started doing the signing. By the time she got back, we was done. She came, she signed her papers. She didn't have as much to sign as him, and then we was done. That's how you do it. You don't just sit there and just stare at the people, for the 30, 40 minutes. I mean, because for them to come back, nah, just go ahead on and get started. And the dude, he already knew it. Nothing to explain. He was like, okay, yeah. He glanced over the documents a little bit, and then we was off to the races. That's how you flow. And if you can figure that out for yourself, I don't see how you can't be successful in this business. And that's one of the things that a lot of notary trainers don't help y'all to get confidence in. They don't help you to get confidence in the last minute signings, because there's two things that is standard with the mortgage industry with regards to us, what we do. The first thing is our notarial certificates got to be, it's going to, if they're there, they're going to be, if they should be in line with what I say. It's guaranteed that there's going to be a notarial certificate, at least for the deed, and maybe a couple of affidavits, okay? Unless it's a cash deal and there's no mortgage or deed. But the notarial certificates is a staple. It's standard. We know it's going to be in there, so we go ahead on and knock that out. So we know we're going to have a notarial statement. And the other thing that we know for sure with the mortgage industry, stuff is late. Stuff is late. Documents are late. Everything is late. Even yesterday, I was just about to head out to my closing. I was over there talking to my wife at the salon, and next thing I know, hey, yeah, we got a new document we just uploaded. All right, go back and get it. A new altar, a new CD. That kind of stuff is standard. So if you can figure out that, if you can overcome that fear, those anxieties, those concerns, I promise you, you're going to be fine in this business. Let me see if any questions, and if y'all got a question about the business, anything you're concerned about, feel free to throw it in the chat. I got a few more minutes before I get over here to my man's place and get him all taken care of with this loan application. And daggone, he got a big one. He got 121 pages. So hopefully it's not going. I was actually in a Me and him did the application before, but apparently he canceled the loan, so they're having him redo it again. I guess he didn't like the deal that was on the table and stuff. And then secondly, when you're in a closing with a real estate, with an attorney, and if they ask you stuff like, hey, you been busy? I guarantee you they have some kind of, they got a finger or a pinky toe or something in real estate transactions. And the gentleman that I met this morning at 7:30, they do personal injury, but he said they also do some real estate closings. So at the end, he was talking to me about it, and I told him, I said, yeah, I do about 70 a month. And he was like, okay, wow. And I told him, I said, if you ever need me, for anything, feel free to, reach out to me. I said, I know you got notaries here in the office. However, if you need somebody to go out to take care of stuff for a client that can't get here, I'll be more than happy. And if you need something done online, I'll be more than happy to assist. And he said, well, yeah, we do have clients that, that are overseas, and that is always a struggle. I said, that's not a problem for me. And I said, in time zone is no problem. I said, if they're over there and I need to be up at 2 in the morning, I got you covered. And he was like, all right, thank you. Took a picture of my business card, and I was like, bet, So when you're with somebody and they're asking you about how busy you are, how much, or anything, that means they're interested and they think that you can help them out somehow. And they want to see, they're basically trying to see where you're at with this business. And I'm going to tell you, almost all of those end up being something positive for me at some point in time. Even if I don't ever do any work directly for that person who was asking, they refer me out to other people who need my services. And that's what I like. So that's why I like being face to face with the people. Even, the online is cool also, but getting out there and doing these closings, I'm telling you, that's really, really where it's at. So I guess everybody seemed to be solid on the notary, and only one person said that they got anxiety. So nobody else had. For those who just popping in, I had asked a question earlier. If you had some type of anxiety when you first started doing this business, or if you knew it and you still have some anxiety, I would just ask you to put a 1 in the chat, because I know people get nervous. I understand that. But I'm going to tell you, there is power in overcoming that. When you can overcome that, there is so much relief and confidence and gratitude and whatever else you want to think of as positive that comes from you overcoming that fear, overcoming that concern, And the one way that I found out to do that is just by taking the order and giving it a shot. Just finding, like in math, we find what the least common denominator. What is the denominator here? What is the thing that's associated? That association between this and that. And when you find that association, that makes everything else pop. Once I figured out what the least common denominator is for the notary, what I'm supposed to do, I'm hoping I'm using that term correctly, everything else just sort of fell in place, and I was like, I got it. It's like driving a stick shift. Once you find your sweet spot in taking off the gas and pressing on the clutch, you don't jerk anymore. And that's what we do in this business. We start this business off with jerking, but there's no amount of training that can really help you until you get out there and then you start with that. Okay, press on the gas, lay off the pedal, press on the press off the clutch. Okay, got it. And then when you really get good, you know how to hit that clutch and that gas at the same time to make that car hold. It just sits there. You ain't even in, you in neutral, and it's just sitting there holding, and you can just control that car just with the gas and the clutch. That's what I want y'all to do. That's what I want y'all to get to. I want y'all to get to the point that y'all not jerking in this business anymore, but you're being smooth. Training is good, but I'm telling you, when you get out there and you start doing this thing, It's something that happens in the human mind. You start thinking, you start calculating, you like, okay, wait a minute, okay, this and that. You start analyzing the information that you've been told, and you're like, okay, yeah, I was told this, but really this is what it is, and okay, that's not applicable here, or it's applicable, but only in these certain situations, so that situation doesn't exist, so this is what I need to do. You get what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, you will be so proud of yourself. So proud of yourself. And you'll be like, okay, I got this now. And that's why I love my man Caprentice, because I know that's similar to what he went through. He learned, he's like, okay, let me go out here and do it. And then he started realizing, oh, this is what this is? I got this. And he's been doing his thing. And there's others. And here's it's quiet. Not as quiet as it's kept, like, it's kept quiet. There are notaries out here who've been in the business just as long as me. They taking $75 signers. I ain't gonna say no names, but I've been told for the last several months, they've been like, yeah, I take them. If it's near me and I have, and I can knock it out real quick, I take them. Now they also have direct clients that they get paid some decent money from, but they're like, hey, if I'm chilling at home and I don't have really anything going on and a $75 signing come through and it's a certain distance from me, I go ahead on and knock it out. Now note what I'm saying. They didn't say anything about, oh, it got to be this many pages. They're like, it's $75. I'm sitting here chilling. Okay, I go ahead and make 75. And I'm sitting here like, okay. And I'm hearing that from other notaries who have been in the business 3 or more years. The newer notaries, they're like, nah, I ain't messing with that. But those who, once they get into the business and they've been hitting about the 3-year mark, 3, 4, 5 years, they have been like, you know what? I'm gonna take that order because I do it for 75. And if it's like, let's say you got 10, you got 7 notarizations. And if you got 7 notarizations and your state fee says, your state says you can deduct $10 off for every time you do a notarization, well, that's $70 that you get to deduct from self-employment. That means you're only paying $5 on that order. You own for self-employment tax. And then you add in your mileage, and if your mileage equates to $5 a month, you basically just made $75 tax-free. And I know I think Notary Stars just did the thing. And if y'all checking my playlist, business interviews, me and my accountant been trying to tell y'all that for several years. And a lot of folk ain't been listening. I've been telling y'all, there's so many tax breaks that you can get. And a lot of notaries aren't taking advantage of them. And the reason why is because some of y'all want to buy a home or buy stuff, so you don't want to zero out and take full advantage of your tax benefits. So you don't do that. And then guess what? When you don't do that, you end up paying more in taxes. And of course, if you zero out, it looks like you didn't make a profit and make any money. So when you go and apply for a mortgage and all of that, yeah, you're right. It's like, well, you're not making any money. But I'm not in a situation where I'm trying to buy a house or do real estate investing and all of that. So guess what? I'm gonna take advantage of all my tax options that I'm legally allowed to take, and that's what I do. And that's what I encourage y'all to do, especially if you're working a regular job. Take advantage of the tax options, the opportunities in there. Do the order and zero out. Zero. I'm serious. And that's why I always encourage y'all, get with a tax professional so you can figure it out. But the bottom line is, there are people out here who are taking advantage of doing the closings. And I've heard some notaries tell me, yeah, I do $60 ones. I do a $30 one here and there every now and then if it's near me. I'll do a $100 one, I go out a little bit further. And these folk are making money. So that's why you've been seeing in the comment section on some of the videos, people said, folk are telling new notaries not to do this, but yet they're the ones who are taking those orders. And if they're not taking the order, they're getting their son or daughter who's new, who's like 18, 19, they got them doing the business and they got them taking orders also. So they may be getting $100, $200 orders, that notary, but they got a cousin or a nephew or somebody who's in their 20s and they got them doing the $60 ones. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's the okie doke. That's the game people be playing with y'all. So that's why I'm sharing with y'all. This is your business. You go out there and run it. If you don't want to do orders under 100, you have that right. If you want to do every order that comes across, you have that right. Just as long as you're able to do what you need to do, take care of your family, that's what counts. And then it says, I'm waiting for my BCI to come back. BCI, I don't know what the heck that is. I think I know what that is. I think that's that that business thing about the FinFed or something like that, the FinTech or whatever. And if that's what you're talking about, yeah, I got some videos on my community tab about that. But yeah, once it's time to get started, just take the orders. And I'm telling you, y'all are going to enjoy this business. You're going to be thoroughly happy. And I mean, I'm enjoying myself. I really am. I am having a blast. Today is going to be a busy day. I already ate me some lunch, and I'm gonna just knock all these orders out. I put it this way. What I'm making today, I'm happy. I'm ripping and running. I'm happy. I'm not sitting in the office being monitored and watched by my boss and all of that stuff. I should have went the other way. I got off on the wrong days. Out of habit, I always go this way. I'm free. And that's what I like. I'm free to go out here and to do what I need to do. And many of you want that same freedom. And that's why we don't need people telling us what not to do when we have the opportunity to be as free as we are. It's nothing wrong with doing what you feel you need to do for yourself. And it's all temporary. Think about it. Working with Notary Go, who pays $60. You do that for what? 10 or 15 orders, maybe 20. You do CX Choice, which is paying low. You do another 10, 15, 20 orders. Before you know it, you got 50 orders under your belt. And then all these other companies that talk about, well, you need to have 50 or 100. Well, if you need 50, guess what? You work with them who don't care about how you experience. Before you know it, you have 50 orders. And now you can go and talk to those other companies and say, hey, I got 50. Here's proof that I got 50. And they can't deny it. What reason would they deny you unless you don't know what you're doing? You're really messing stuff up. But if you're not messing stuff up and you got the 50 orders, that the closings under your belt that they asked for, then they to me, the only thing they can do is just say, okay, here's your opportunity. And then you go knock it out. And then once you get with that company, you do about 50 with them. Now you can market yourself to those companies that need 100. And that can be done in maybe, let's just say 5 or 6 months. But if you're not willing to wait, if you're not willing to go through the process, then I don't know. If you're trying to do it where you're trying to match what these people on TikTok say, these other people on Facebook and everywhere else, what they're saying, and you want to be in the cool kids club with them, then yeah, that might not be the path you want to take. You're not going to be disciplined enough to do that, because you're going to want everything fast, and sometimes that fast stuff is not sustainable. It really isn't, So my business is sustainable, it's manageable, it's not overwhelming, and that's what y'all need starting off. And I think everything will fall in line for y'all, So I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I'm gonna go on and hop off. Any questions? No other questions? And folk, like I said, y'all get driving crazy, and I got to figure out how to get to where I'm supposed to be getting to. Okay. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna have to go over the bridge and come back. Goodness gracious. All right. Well, y'all have a good one. If you got any questions that pop up later, feel free to drop them in the comment section. But just believe in yourself, and like I keep saying, question these people who want your money in exchange for their knowledge about this business. You have that right, and no one has the right to not answer your questions just because they've been in it longer and they making a couple of meal or whatever. You have every right to say, nah, I need to know ... because my money's at stake here, and that's your right. All right, y'all have a good one. Talk to y'all later. Peace. I learned how to turn this thing off. Oh, there it is.